Hi everyone, how are you doing? I am incredibly excited to be here because I am going to be talking about some juicy news that have shocked not only the drum community but the whole music community worldwide. And yes, I am talking about the fact that RUM&ASS has finally a new drummer. Yes, we finally have a substitute for one of those drummers that has the curse of being irreplaceable. Someone who was so good at what he did that when he couldn't do it any longer, the whole band decided that it didn't make sense to keep going. So as you can imagine, they must have found somebody who's really good in order to fill that position, because otherwise they wouldn't be playing. Not only he was charismatic, but also he was one of the most musical drummers that have ever existed. His legacy is going to keep on living for thousands of years, and what he did for the whole drumming community and for the music scene is totally priceless. Neil, the best drummer to ever do it, had to live through a very complicated last phase on his life because he had cancer and he was struggling with it. It was taking a toll not only on his physical health but also on his psychological health. And Neil had something that really made him stand out, and that was the fact that he was a perfectionist of the highest order. So as soon as he realized that his performance was going to suffer, he decided that it was time to let go of the whole project, because if you have the chance of being remembered as something, sometimes you don't really want to pollute that. And I really respect that, and I think it speaks volumes of the kind of person that he was, not only as a drummer but also as a human being. So he decided to stop performing before his health impacted his performance, and of course sometime later he passed away, unfortunately, and the whole band decided that it was time to stop. But that's one side of looking at it, because on the other side you could also tell that the fact that they found a new drummer means that they must have found somebody so fucking good at drumming that, well, started that fire again and made them want to get back into performing. And that's nothing more and nothing less than one of my favorite drummers ever, Anika Niles. But I think an image is worth 1,000 words, so that is actually me totally losing my shit while Anika was signing my shirt. Now, I've seen Anika performing so many times. That woman is unbelievable. I mean, she basically started a drumming revolution with her style and her weird groupings and her grooves and her power and precision. She made a name and built a whole career by herself. No one backing her up. It was just her as a power horse performing all around the world and blowing out people's minds. Her work with Jeff Beck apparently is what landed the gig with RUM&ASS. And it was so brilliant that when Lee and Anderson saw the whole thing and the whole performance, apparently they knew that this was going to happen. Actually, as they said on their interviews with the press, they brought her to Canada, but it was not even an audition. They named it an experiment, because what they wanted to do was just play with her and see with their own eyes how good she was at being the next drummer of RUM&ASS. The rest is history. And that being said, of course, I wanted to react to one of her videos. Now, for this video that we're going to watch, I wanted to isolate the bass and the drums as always, because I need you guys to pay attention to the drums and how locked she is with the bass player. We're going to watch one of her most famous videos. I think this was a shot for Tama or Manuel or whatever, but this shit is tight as it can be. I'm not going to be interrupting much, but I really need you guys to see this. Let's see the kind of drummer that we're talking about. Clean as well, beautiful. Single pedal, by the way, those feels. The setup is crazy. She has two snares. One as a floor tom, one as the main snare. The sound super dry, the cymbals. She's very tight with the groove, very tight. One of the reasons I think they picked her, she's a very special drummer when it comes down to sounds. Toms are flipped. The 10 is on the right, the 12 is on the left. She doesn't have a floor tom, she has the second snare, and the floor tom goes right there. Pretty far away actually. It's complicated to play like that, but she has totally mastered it. Now about the cymbals, as you can see, the choice of sounds is pretty peculiar. Most of them are super dry, but she's also constantly playing with these stacks, splashes that totally complement the way that she's playing, and she has achieved that. She has mastered a sound that's so unique and so precise that blows your mind, not only in here but also live. The way she sounds, it's something unbelievable, from out of this world. Let's keep watching. Two hats, beautiful. That second snare tuned super low, beautiful. She's totally locked in with the bass. Amazing groove, beautiful groove. The pocket and the groove that she has, that's something else. I mean, in order to feel Neil's shoes, you don't need to be a flashy drummer that's all about the chops. I mean, this is a job for somebody that knows how to support the band and of course make every groove feel tight, because that was one of the strengths of Neil. Whenever you were hearing him, you could actually instantly recognize that it was him, and you learned that by trying to play his songs. His hi-hat game was something else. Whenever you are trying to play Tom Sawyer and you are trying to play the basic groove, you realize that even though it's a pretty basic groove, you cannot actually play the way that he was playing it, because his dynamics with the right hand were something else. So that's something that you need to understand whenever you're watching this, because it may look like something that's a little bit more simple than what we are accustomed to seeing, of course, death metal and blast beats and chops and shit, but this is extremely hard to do, and it is very unlikely that you are going to find a drummer that has the right sound in order to fill your expectations. And I need you guys from the audience to understand this, because this, what you're seeing right here, it is an extremely talented human being, and this is as complicated as all the other crazy chops that we have seen. This is something that's priceless. Let's keep going. The timing is perfect. It just feels good. The sounds, those hats, those are beautiful. Perfect. Ooh. What's that? Wait. Like a polyrhythm or something, right? I don't even know what that is. 4 against 3? Beautiful. Oh, that's a nasty way of entering, yeah. Wow. Fuck me, that was beautiful. It grows. Look at the bass. That's nice. Well, this is a nice fucking groove. Oh, that was beautiful. Slams, amazing. Triplets? I thought she was not going to chop. Now everything I said is worth shit. Okay, yeah, we're going to see some chops in here, and those are clean as fuck. Triplets? 16th? Okay. That was beautiful. And it goes down again. Like she has the dynamics game right on point. again with the polyrhythmic stuff. That's nice. It's beautiful. That's an amazing drummer, fucking amazing drummer, yeah. Ghost notes on point. That's sweet. Fucking A. That's an amazing performance. That's a fucking amazing performance. If you watch it again, it's like a journey. It keeps growing, 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 and suddenly, bam, solo. And at the end of the solo, bam, again, right there, down, let's get down to business. I think there are a few reasons why they picked her. The groove on this woman is as strong as it gets. It just feels right. You have seen it. I have the track right here and it's only bass and drums and it feels good. Even when she is going into something weirder like the polyrhythmic movements that she was applying, it still felt pretty good. Like you didn't really feel the change, you were still vibing. You can actually nod your head to the music and you don't feel like you're listening to Meshuggah, right? Where you don't fucking know where the one is. It doesn't matter in here. You are just being carried away by this amazing drummer. And again, as I said, Neil may be famous for the drum solos, but 99% of the music, it was about the groove and making the groove feel good. And he had something very important, even though the time signatures that they play on Rush are pretty weird and pretty odd, you couldn't feel it whenever Neil was behind the kit. The same feeling that you get watching Neil, you can get by watching Anika. Weird things are happening, she can also play quintuplets and these kind of weird groupings, but there is not a single point where you're going to be like, yeah, I'm uncomfortable, I don't understand what's happening and I don't vibe to this music. That does not happen with Anika and that did not happen with Neil neither. And I think that's worth mentioning because most of the people are not only cheering for Anika, but they also understand why she was chosen to carry the legacy of such an amazing drummer like Neil was. You need somebody that's rock solid, that can make the groove feel good, and that can make weird grooves feel good. And also, exceptionally, at some points, whenever you need the drummer to go off and fucking rip that shit on any subdivision, it doesn't matter if it's triplets, 30-second notes, quintuplets, whatever, you need the drummer to do it, and she can do it. And of course, there is something else that I need to say. I don't know if it's relevant or not, but I think it should be said. I don't believe that there is such a thing as a female drummer. I only see drummers. But truth is, I think we need to see more of this. I think this is not only an amazing step for drummers, of course, worldwide, but I also think this is making history for gender equality on drums. And I think it's a great moment for women. And I couldn't think of a better example for women worldwide to look up to than Anika, because not only she is, as you have seen, a total beast whenever it comes to drumming, but also every single drummer I've ever met that knows her can tell you how good, how professional, how nice and how humble she is. In order to fill Neil's shoes, you need a role model, you need an icon, you need somebody that's something more than just a drummer, and she is. And I cannot think of anyone who can be a better source of inspiration for young drummers all around the world than this woman right here. And for real, some reactions are more genuine than others. I am very happy. I read the news today and I was very happy, extremely happy for Anika and extremely happy for what she's going to bring to the whole drumming community. So from here, I don't think she's going to watch this video, but Anika, terrific job. You totally deserve this. You are amazing. Keep being you, keep being nice, keep being the best fucking drummer ever, keep slaying and keep being an inspiration, because what you achieved today is going to be written on the books of music and it's excellent. Great fucking job you did in there. And with all that being said, of course, let me know what you think in the comments. If you want to support the channel, please remember that you've got all the merchandising on my store right there. That way you can help me and I can give you something in exchange, and it really makes a difference. And by the way, if you spend more than $50, you get a titanium necklace, which is actually pretty cool. By the way, should I do a video on Neil? Let me know, because I'm running out of reactions and this was a breath of fresh air. So let me know in the comments who should I react to next. Love you to death, guys. I appreciate it, and see you all guys on the next videos. Cheers.